Well, another name I don't know what to do with, but like usual, we're just going to jump in and take a look. This one is called the 433 Perran. Perran? I don't know. But the description basically says simple 433 with DM and focus on flanks. This was tested with Manchester City. Of course, we all know how much Manchester City will absolutely rock most tactics we give. But this was a 32 win season, 4 draws, 2 losses, 100 points. And it was pretty nice. 139 goals for it, looks like. My screen's a little small, but it looks like this did a fantastic job for Manchester City. But of course, we are going to test it with our own teams of Liverpool and Aston Villa in the Premier League and our championship side of Ipswich Town. So with that said, let's just jump in and see how it did. Well, not quite near Manchester City, but doing a fantastic job. Liverpool in first with 89 points, 95 goals, 92 for Aston Villa with 85 points. Yeah, this definitely worked. Now, Manchester City in their test did win. It looks like everything. It didn't show the final of the Champions League. It got to the quarters, and they won through that. So I don't know what actually happened with that, but they won the FA Cup, Carabao Cup. They won a lot of different trophies. Here, you can see Carabao Cup final, Liverpool lose out to Aston Villa. So at least one of our teams won, but in extra time, 2-0 loss, though, in the semifinals of the FA Cup to Chelsea. But they do get to the Europa League final, 2-1 win over Sporting, trophy number 2. So overall, not a bad season. We have seen better, no question about it, but we have seen a lot worse. 2 trophies, a semi-final in the FA Cup, a Carabao Cup runner-up, not too bad. And we do have plenty of green. We've seen a lot more though. That is, I will say that. But 37 goals for Nunez, 22 for Salah, 20 for Diaz and Gakpo. Fantastic numbers right there. 22 assists for Robertson, and then average rating Nunez, of course, with a 7.48. As we switch to Aston Villa, you can see a massive schedule against Newcastle. 4 games. That is insane. 2 in the FA Cup, 2 in the Carabao Cup, but unfortunately FA Cup 4th round replay is where they lose out. And then, of course, they beat Liverpool 2-1 in extra time in the Carabao Cup final. And a 2-trophy season for both teams. The Europa Conference League final against Fenerbahce 1-0. Very well done. So overall, second place in the Premier League is fantastic for them, and 2 winner medals is fantastic as well. Unfortunately, the FA Cup is kind of the lone bad piece. About the same amount of green thereabouts as Liverpool, but goals 36 for Ollie Watkins, 24 for Zaniolo. Very well done for those two at least. 16 assists for Diaby, and then average rating, Matty Cash with a 7.22. Data hub for our 2 teams. Liverpool doing a very fantastic attacking job. It is a shape we have come to know and love. Their tackling percentage is a little bit down, but overall it is an attacking minded tactic. 2.5 goals per game, 0.74 conceded, 0.72 xg against. Aston Villa doing a fantastic job themselves. Just a couple numbers that are down from Liverpool's, but 2.42 points per game, 0.76 conceded, 0.95 xg against. Those are pretty nice for them. Premier League stats, 2.34 points per game for Liverpool, 2.24 for Aston Villa. Most goals, Liverpool in first, only with 95. That is a low number compared to, what you would expect when they win the league. They do really well, but 95 still tops the list. 92 for Aston Villa is in second. Few shots against Liverpool in first with 218. Aston Villa in fifth with 316. Most possession, Liverpool with 51%. Most dribbles made, Liverpool with 663, Aston Villa with 631. And then most shots for it, Liverpool in first with 671, Aston Villa with 593. But now on to our championship side of Ipswich Town. How did they do? 4th place, 85 points. That is interesting. Usually when Aston Villa and Liverpool do really well, Ipswich rises in the charts. But this time around, not so much. They did get to the playoffs, though. They lost in the semi-finals, 3-4 on aggregate to Blackburn. Domestic Cups, about average for them. 2-2 penalty loss to Luton, and then a 1-2 FA Cup 5th round loss to Chelsea. So overall, this was about an average season from what we've seen in the last couple of months. Championship is okay, they got to the playoffs, but still, 4th place not great. FA Cup, Carabao Cup is about average. Squad-wise, only 3 in the green, interestingly enough. But goals 14 for Chaplin, Broadhead with 12, Hurst all the way down with only 5. Assists 19 for Leif Davis, at least he's up in the list, and a 7.34 for him as well. Championship stats, Ipswich in third with 1.77 points per game. Most goals in first, though, with 105. Again, we've seen them with a lot higher. Few shots against in first with 323. Most dribbles made in third with 817. And most shots for in second with 729. But now, before I get into the tactic itself, I will say that all the player instructions are in the comments of the page I got this from. So definitely check that out for a little bit more information, especially if you're on console and you want to copy this tactic to there. But with that said, sweeper, keeper, and defend is where we start. Fullbacks on the left and the right in attack. Ball-playing defenders in the central spots. A DM in support, a CM in support next to another CM in support. Inside forwards in attack on the left and the right. Mark specific positions are probably going to be, the DL and DRs. So advance forward in attack up front. Attacking mentality. In possession, attacking with his narrow. Approach play, pass into space. Focus play down the left and the right. Passing directness is shorter. Tempo is higher. Low crosses, run at defense. In transition, counter press, counter, distribute quickly, roll it out. And out of possession, a high press line of engagement, a much higher defensive line, trigger press much more often, prevent your goalkeeper distribution, get stuck in, step up more, and invite crosses. So now, how did it do for our three teams? I mean, pretty well, no question about it. I will say that, of course, Ipswich Town coming in fourth place in the playoff spots and not doing all that well. Yeah, that sucks. They are only 1 point down from third, only, 3 points down from second. So if you took control of this yourself, as I always say, you hopefully could do a little bit better than they did. Turn some of these 13 draws and 9 losses into wins, some more points for you. But overall, it looks like this tactic has some good attacking pieces to it, but probably not as good as a lot of the other tactics we've seen, a lot of the high-end attacking tactics that we've seen. But it does keep the defensive pieces in shape, which is fantastic. Especially for an Aston Villa who tends to concede a little bit more than Liverpool, but this time around kind of on par with Liverpool's defense, which is great to see. So take a look at it if you like the 4-3-3. We have definitely seen better, but this is a fantastic place to start. But that is it for me, Savian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.